Hey guys, it's Kendra. So today I'm doing an update on Owen. I haven't done one of these yet for him. I did one of these for the girls every month, I think. I felt like it was time. I wanted to just sit and chat with you while he naps and just talk about his sleep, nursing, and just like a little bit about our routine and everything kind of going on here. I talk about it like little bits during my vlogs, but I figured it'd be nice to kind of have it condensed into this video. And I asked you guys on my Instagram, it's with Kendra if you guys don't follow me over there, but I asked you what topics you want me to talk about, and the majority of you said sleep and nursing. So we're gonna talk about all of that. So I hope you guys all enjoy this video, and if you have any other questions that I don't answer, just leave them in the comments here or send me a DM on my Instagram. Okay, so he is 12 weeks old, which is crazy. So it's been quite some time now since he was born. He is a huge baby. Last time I weighed him, he weighed 17 pounds. And he was in newborn clothes for about a day. He wore a newborn onesie coming home from the hospital and then went pretty much straight into 3 to 6 months stuff. I just sold so many clothes of his that are size 0 to 3 months on my Poshmark, and they all were washed but never worn, and it was so sad. So if you guys are pregnant, maybe hold off on some clothes. Like buy clothes that are bigger than you think, because it's okay if clothes are a little baggy on your baby, but if they're too small, it's just kind of like, it just made me kind of bummed. And they were all so cute. So now I'm currently buying clothes that are size 6 to 9 months, and he's not even 3 months old. It's just nuts to me. And then I'm just finishing up the last of our size 2 diapers, and I've opened up our size 3 diapers. It is kind of weird because the girls were pretty small. Well, they weren't small babies. For being twins, they were pretty big. June was 6 pounds and Violet was 7 pounds, 8 ounces. They were in newborn clothes for a really long time though. Like I remember them kind of swimming in their clothes for some time, but then they hit a point where they really grew a ton, and now they're really big. They're in like the 96th percentile. Owen's been in the 96th percentile for like everything since birth, but the girls weren't when they were born, but now they are. So looking back, I honestly feel like, they were meant to be, tall girls, but I don't think they were getting enough milk in the beginning. That's kind of what I'm attributing like a lot of their crying to now. It just kind of makes more sense to me. Like they were really fussy, cranky, like I just remember them crying all the time when they were little. And I truly think it's because I wasn't producing enough milk for them, because once I started supplementing with formula around 4 months, they were way better. So I just think they were like really trying to pack on the pounds as babies, and they were like not getting enough. It's just kind of sad. But Owen, on the other hand, is getting his supply of milk and more. Like he is well fed, and you can tell from his body. So let's talk about nursing, because it has been quite different this time than with the girls for obvious reasons. The main thing that I've noticed is I'm just so much less stressed about the whole thing. With the girls, it was like an assembly line, I swear. I made a blog post recently about this, but I would feed one, burp her, and have to kind of get her situated and then grab the next baby. And whenever I was feeding one, the other one was typically crying because she was hungry. Identical twins are very in sync with when they're hungry, when they're going to the bathroom, with sleeping. So it's kind of crazy to see how in sync they are. But because of that, they would be hungry at the exact same time. So it just made things a little difficult. With Owen, it's just been like I enjoy it more. I never really enjoyed nursing with the girls. It just seemed like I have to do this to give them milk, and just kind of like I felt like it was my job. Like it felt like I'm just like always feeding them. Like I just felt like a cow. I don't feel like that this time. I feel like it's more of a bonding experience with Owen. I can just like sit with him and relax. And the crazy thing is, okay, if you guys have nursed a baby before, they start nursing, and then a little bit into them sucking, your letdown happens. So you feel all of your milk come down, and sometimes it hurts because it's like all this milk coming down. With the girls, I didn't feel that all the time. Every now and then I would, but with Owen, I feel it every single time I nurse. Like every time he's nursing, I have a letdown, and I think that's what's supposed to happen. But with them, they would get really frustrated. Like as they started nursing, they'd get frustrated if the milk wasn't there right away. Oh my gosh, our gardeners are here. I know for your letdown to happen, you have to be very relaxed. So I know I was not relaxed with the girls when I was nursing them all the time. So with Owen, I just get to kind of just sit and be with him, and he can have both sides of milk. If I don't think he's had enough, then we'll go to the other side. It's not like he only can get one side. I know some people just nurse on one side and then the next time they feed, they switch. That's how I was doing it in the beginning, but lately it seems like he wants more, so I'll do both sides. And he usually has a good burp, like he burps really quick. That's another thing I've noticed. He's a pretty easy baby. I feel very, very blessed with how he is, with his temperament. The girls were much more high maintenance and nothing has changed up until this day. Owen is a little bit more relaxed and everything seems to just happen a little easier with him. The girls had a lot of gas problems. We had to like pump their legs because their belly would be so tight and they'd get really fussy. Owen, right after he's done nursing, I will hold him up, burp him a little bit, and he'll have like the most giant human like burp I've ever heard. I mean, he's obviously human, but like it's like an adult man burp whenever he burps. And then he poops like right away. So he's very regular. Everything is just happening very nice and smooth for him. And he nursed super easy from the get-go. He latched on right away and nursed for like an hour right when I had him. And ever since, he's been totally a great nurser. I had about a week of really a hard time nursing just because of the scabbing. Like your nipples can get scabbed up in the beginning. I had that with the girls too. And my biggest tip, if that is happening to you, is just power through. I know it's easier said than done, but I would rub nipple butter on every time I would finish nursing him and it would really help to soften it. And over a few days, they started going away. And he's also like a power drinker. He's super efficient. I nursed the girls so much longer. Like when they would nurse, it was a longer period of time that I'd be nursing just with one, you know, not just because there was two, but each one nursed for a lot longer. And I'd be up a lot more at night. Like when I would be up with them, it'd be like an hour span that I'd be up with them. It seemed like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't quite an hour, but it was a long process of feeding both of them and changing them and all that. With him, it's very, very quick. He nurses very fast, and I think it has to do with him being a boy. Just from what I've heard from friends who have boys, they seem to be like quicker nursers. The girls, when they would suck, it was a lot softer. Like it wasn't, he like really, you can hear him gulping down the milk. Nursing is just a weird thing because you feel all this responsibility. Like you are responsible for them growing and them, all their food supply is you. Sometimes I do worry, like, is he getting, I know he's getting enough milk, but like, you know, you always have that thought cross your mind and you're wondering if you have enough milk each time they're nursing. Like it's just, it's a lot to kind of have to deal with and do yourself. As far as producing more milk, like things that I've done to help with it, what I have noticed is that I don't need to eat a lot more when I'm nursing. It's more drinking more water. So I just try to be drinking water all day long because when I do nurse, I get super thirsty. I also drink like, what are they called? Like body armor drinks or Powerades every now and then. I think those are just great to give you a ton of electrolytes and vitamins and keep you really hydrated. Other than that, oats are great. Oats are really supposed to help with your milk. I do have a tea that I drink every now and then. I need to start drinking it more often. It's called Milky's. I will link it down below. They also give me a coupon code for you guys, so I'll put that in the info section. I have their supplements too, but I kind of like the tea more. I don't know why. The taste is really good, and I just find that the tea seems to help more than the actual supplements. So I just drink like that once a day. It's not even like all the time, but if you really are trying to up your milk, maybe if you drink it a lot more, that'll really help. But that's kind of all I do. I do not eat really spicy foods just to like watch out for that because the girls are really sensitive to that. I don't try to have a ton of sugar just because I don't want him to be up all the time. And then like, especially at night, I'm not gonna, you know, have a ton of chocolate or something like that. I still drink coffee. I have 1 cup a day, and I never used any special pillows for nursing him. I have one, I don't like it. I just use it for like other things, but for me, the easiest thing for him was to just prop up blankets underneath him, like one under his legs and one kind of under his head. That just seemed the easiest for me, especially when I was nursing him in bed. Now I find that I nurse him most in his room. On his glider. I love his glider. It is amazing. I'll link it down below. I got it from Joss & Main. They have like a million fabrics and I just am obsessed with it. I never, ever, ever nurse the girls on their rocker because I would nurse them in the living room since I didn't want to wake the other one up when she was sleeping. So it's so nice to just like, I'm experiencing all these things now with Owen that I feel like most people experience when they have a baby, but I just never experience them with the girls. So now when I nurse him like in the middle of the night, I just wake him up and we just nurse right there in his room. Like it's easy peasy. It's not a whole ordeal. I don't nurse him that much in public. Like we haven't really gone a ton of places to where we're out for a super long period of time where I have to nurse him somewhere else. So usually I'm at home nursing him, which is nice. I do have a nursing cover though that I've used on occasion by Copper Pearl. I really like it. It's like a cute camel brown color. So I bring that with me just in case. But usually what I do if we are leaving somewhere, I try to feed him before we leave. So then he's good for a solid like 2 to 3 hours. And I won't have to nurse him until we get back home. But it is funny because we've taken him so many more places as a newborn than we ever did the girls. Like I don't think the girls left the house, like honestly, for like 4 months because it was like flu season and it was just too much work and it was too stressful. But Owen just kind of goes where we go. All right, let's talk about sleep. I'll go through his routine and like everything I do for sleep for him. He's been a really good sleeper. Again, I feel really lucky. It's been nice this time around because I've learned so much from the girls that I can apply it with Owen and like sooner. So I don't have to like worry about certain things I did with the girls. For example, I remember they would just kind of nap wherever when they were newborns. They'd be napping in their rocker, they'd be napping on the couch, in their swings, and it was just kind of like when they napped, they napped. I didn't really have a concept of like when they'd be asleep and awake, like time-wise. I wasn't paying attention to that. 4 months is when I was like, I need them to be on a routine more. Maybe it was 3 months. But with Owen, pretty early on, like obviously like the first couple weeks, it's all over the place. I wouldn't stress about a schedule then. But once you start to see like their awake times, their nap times, you can kind of start recognizing a pattern, and he is very consistent now. But I think you have to kind of like guide that so they are more routine. When he wakes up in the morning, he usually wakes up, he's up for the day like 6:30-ish. And then I will nurse him and then he is awake for like 2 hours. It's pretty clockwork now. And then at the 2 hour mark, he usually starts to get a little cranky. With the girls, when they would start to get cranky, I would try to feed them again. I'm like, they must be hungry. But I've noticed that when he gets cranky, he's just getting tired. So and I usually check my phone. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's been about 2 hours. Sometimes it's an hour and a half. Sometimes it's usually it's not more than 2 hours, but between an hour and 2 hours, I'll start either seeing him getting fussy or I'll start to see him starting to fall asleep. I will change his diaper, make sure he's changed and everything, and then I will swaddle him. And I'm again using the Copper Pearl swaddle because it's super stretchy. I was using the Love to Dream ones for a little bit, but he doesn't do as well in those right now. He actually prefers his arms straight down, but I do like the Love to Dream ones a lot. The girls use those a ton. I'm gonna still try to use them. The Love to Dream swaddles, I will try them again because they're so much easier to zip up. But for now, he really likes just to be swaddled like this. So I'm not gonna try to change anything right now. If he's kind of like squirming, then I'll give him a binky and he likes the Wubba Nubs. But if he's not, and if he's just calm, then I don't give him a binky. I only give him a binky if he like needs it and he's kind of like fussing, trying to like get out of his swaddle. And then once he's calm, I go in his room, and I turn on his sound machine, get it dark in there, and I just kind of start rocking him. Sometimes I'll just rock in the rocker. Other times I'll just kind of like hold him around the room and I just kind of like shake him like this, kind of rocking side to side. I'll like sway him, and he likes to just, I go shh, like loud kind of in his ear. That calms him down. The other thing I noticed he really likes lately is if I like hum to him. So I'll just go, like I'll hum little songs. And now he kind of like lurches forward like towards my chest, and he loves, it's so cute. He likes his head to be like right here. Like I used to just kind of hold him like this, kind of like flat. But now he really likes to like nestle into my chest when he's falling asleep. So I just hold him like this. It's just the sweetest thing ever. And he just falls asleep right there. And then once he's asleep, I kind of rock him for a little bit longer so I know for sure he's asleep. And then I slowly transfer him into his crib. He's still in his dogcot. I know you're not supposed to, they say don't put the dogcot in your crib, but we do because he's not like rolling over all the place. Obviously when he is, the dogcot will come out. For now, he literally just lays there like a mummy when he sleeps. So he's in the dogcot. I lay him down and I make sure he's asleep before I leave the room. If he does like open his eyes, I'll put his binky in, just kind of like shh. And I just kind of like, as I'm putting him down, I like stay there so he can still kind of smell me. I'm holding him, so I'm still putting like pressure on him. And then I slowly release. He is usually asleep for 1 to 2 hours. It's very routine. And then around that time, I will wake him up and we repeat the process all over again. So I wrote down like the hours of when he is awake and asleep on here, just so you can have an idea. Again, he's up around 6 to 6:30. I put him down for his first nap around 8 o'clock. So right now he's asleep. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. So he usually sleeps till about like 10-ish, 9:30, 10, 10:30. Again, it's like very, you have to be kind of flexible. It's not like they're gonna sleep the same time every single day. Sometimes he'll have a quicker nap, sometimes he'll have a really long nap. It just depends. And then he's up for 2 hours and then he goes back down around 12:30, sleeps till about 2:30. That's usually like a pretty solid nap. And then he is up till around 4:30. Sleeps till about 6-ish, and I have him go down for like nighttime, like bedtime, between 8:30 and 9. So when it's like about 8 o'clock, he's starting to get a little tired. So around like between 8 and 8:30, I'll nurse him the last time to put him to sleep. So that's the only time I will nurse him before I put him down to bed. Every other time, I only nurse him when he's waking up, and then I just rock him to bed. But before I put him down for the night, I will feed him before I put him down, just so he's like full. So usually like 8:30, 9 o'clock, he is in bed, and that is when he'll have his longest stretch of sleep. So I try to go to bed around 10, just so I am, getting sleep when he's sleeping. When he was a very, very newborn, I was going to bed at like 9. So when I would put him to bed, I'd go to bed too. But now he's up about twice a night. There's been a few times where he only woke up once and it was like awesome. He usually wakes up around 1 o'clock, between 1 and 3, I would say is his first time when he wakes up. So he has a solid 5-hour stretch, that first stretch. If he wakes up at 1 o'clock, I know he'll probably wake up again around 4 to eat. If he wakes up at like 3, then he's good. Like if that's the few times he's woken up at 3, I'm like, oh, we made it to 3. Like he's good until the morning now. If he wakes up at 2, usually he'll again wake up around 4:30 to eat again. So when he wakes up in the middle of the night, what I do is I don't unswaddle him. I just pick him up like a little mummy. I sit down on his glider and I'll nurse him. I try to get him to nurse on both sides at night just so he's, full. But sometimes he is so out of it asleep that I can't get him to wake up to nurse on the other side. It just kind of depends. I try to get a burp out of him if I can, and then I make sure he's asleep before I put him down, put him back in his crib, and then I go back to bed. I only change his diaper if I like feel it and it feels really full, or if I know he pooped, and if it smells, like I'll change it. But he usually now only poops when he wakes up in the morning around like 6:37, which is awesome. So I rarely change diapers at night now, and that cuts down a lot of time for you at night, and it keeps them very like in that sleepy phase, so they're not being like startled, woken up when you're changing their diaper. But every now and then I do have to change him at night, and it's not a big deal. Sometimes I notice that like maybe an hour after he ate, he'll wake up again, and I won't feed him then because I just fed him, so I'm not going to feed him again. I don't want him to get used to like just waking up and nursing. So if he does wake up and I know he's not hungry, it's just kind of like a who knows what will come up, I just go in there and I'll put his binky in and I'll just kind of go shh, and I'll just try to calm him down. But I try not to like take him out of the crib or anything, because just from sleep training the girls, those are like some of the tips that they give. Because if you keep taking them out of the crib, then they're going to get used to that, and they're going to know if they cry, then they get taken out of the crib. So I'm trying now to kind of start those things earlier on, but usually he'll just fall asleep again. I'll just kind of shh and try to like, put some pressure on him so he feels like I'm holding him, and then he'll kind of like slowly start going back to bed. But the one thing that I don't like about binkies, which is something that they recommend when you are starting to sleep train, is to cut the binkies, because they can't put them back in their mouth. We started sleep training them at 4 months. That's what they recommend. And we pulled the binkies because it was annoying because they would fall out and they'd get like wedged under their head or something and they couldn't find them, and that would wake them up. That's the reason why I like putting him to bed without a binky, because it's one less thing that I know will wake him up, because if it ever falls out, it'll kind of get tucked behind his ear, and if he like moves his head, it'll wake him up. So now I'm gonna go to your questions and see what you guys are curious to hear about. Okay, bedtime routine and products you use on his skin. I'm gonna film a nighttime routine actually this week, so that'll be up soon and you can actually like see everything going on. But as far as like bath products go for him, I'm just using a baby shampoo and body wash from Shea Moisture. I just find them on Vitacost. We were giving him his bath in the sink. I have the is it Angel Care? I think it's Angel Care, the bath. I love it. It's really, really good, super inexpensive. We just started putting it in the actual bathtub and we gave him a bath with the girls and it was so, so cute. He loves baths. Again, another difference from the girls. The girls didn't love their bath time. He just loves the water. He's just so like happy in there. How are you liking the LV pumps? So I posted on my Instagram that I got these pumps. They are so cool. They are cordless breast pumps. You literally stick them in your bra. It's kind of like, what's the other brand? Willow, but those ones have bags. These ones just pump directly into the little cartridge, the little cup, and I've only used it twice so far. I hate pumping because of having to like hook everything up to you. It sucks. So this is so much more convenient. And I think especially if you guys are exclusively pumping, it would be a really good thing to have, like, because you can like pump in the car. Like, it is seriously so, so cool. Somebody asked, how do you deal with him getting a flat head? We haven't dealt with that at all, actually. With the girls, a little bit I did, because they were in their rock and plays a lot. Those are like totally banned now. But the rock and plays kind of force you from being able to turn your head the way they're designed. The nice thing about the DockATot, it's flat. So he can completely roll his head, or like move his head side to side. So I think that's really helped with that. His head is very round though. Baby must-haves for this stage. I did 2 blog posts on this. I will link those down below if you guys want to see like our must-haves. But the baby Bjorn rocker I love, the DockATot I love. But yeah, I'll link those down below for you guys. How do I enjoy alone time with him? With the girls, with chores and Andrew. So this has been super hard to manage. It was hard to manage in the beginning. It is getting better now. The girls are a lot more adjusted to him now. And I kind of just tell them, like, when I am nursing him, like, I can't get to you right now. You have to wait. They do have a hard time with it sometimes, but we're getting better at it. I try to nurse him in his room, so I'm like out of their sight. So they kind of know when I'm in there, I'm nursing him and he's getting his milk. But Andrew is really good about helping out with the girls. Like, when he gets home, he will take them outside and play with them and swim with them or whatever. So I can have some alone time with Owen, and we kind of like divvy it up like that. We also did hire a nanny. She is here right now, and she comes twice a week for 4 hours a day, just in the morning, so I can get stuff done, so I can just be with Owen, because it was getting super, super hard being with, having to juggle, giving them attention. They require a lot of attention right now. Like, they're in this stage where they're very demanding. They know what's going on. They know they're not getting enough attention. And obviously I have a newborn, so I have to be with him a lot. Since I do work from home, that makes it hard. Like, that is where everything gets tricky, and I just felt like I was, one, like not giving anything 100% of me. My head was in so many different places. I was just trying to get by, and I don't want to just like get by, you know what I mean? And I'm the type of person who wants to do everything by myself, and I know that's not the best way to be, because you sometimes have to just realize and accept that you can't do it all. So that is kind of where we thought would be the most beneficial, is to just having somebody to be here and give the girls a ton of attention, just 2 days a week. You know, it's not that much, but it's enough time for me to be able to catch my breath, to get some stuff done and feel like I can breathe. You know, it's only been like 3 days of having her, but it's been like really awesome. But something that I am starting to do now with the girls is, once I do feed him, then he's good for about 2 to 3 hours. So I will, if Andrew is home, I will take the girls somewhere. I will feed Owen, and then I'll just tell Andrew, just keep him awake for a while, and then he'll probably fall asleep soon. And like yesterday I took the girls to the post office with me and we went and got smoothies. Just giving them some one-on-one time is super important, so I am trying to do that. Tips for juggling a newborn with toddlers. So my biggest recommendation is to get activities for your toddlers, to get things for them to do that's creative, that they are excited about, so you're not having to just plop them in front of the TV all the time. So the girls love arts and crafts, so I stocked up when he was born on crayons and paper and stickers and fun things for them to do. And also, I mentioned in my last vlog, I found these like ABC backpacks that they love. So some like learning activities for them. They are really liking ABC Mouse right now. Just certain things to like help stimulate them, make them feel important. Things that I know they're learning from really help. And also just like try to have fun with them. This is something that like I know this sounds like odd, but I'm like such a routine person that sometimes I can get like in this way where I'm trying to like get so much done and clean up around the house, and it's like at the end of the day your kids just want to have fun. Like obviously you want to be teaching them stuff and having them learn, but just being kind of playful with them and tickling them and just doing like goofy things goes a long way with the girls. And I think to them that just like lets them know that like they are still super important. You go from they get all your attention to a new baby who needs a lot of attention and they're like, what about us? It's a very like drastic change for them. Do I sleep much? Okay, in the very beginning I did feel like super tired. I was much more tired with the girls, I'll admit, but this time I feel pretty good. Like yes, in the middle of the night it is always hard getting up and you're like, ugh, but in the morning I feel pretty good. With my cup of coffee, I'm not bad. So I think your body honestly just totally adjusts to it, and it's crazy what like how you just wake up, you do it, and you just keep going on with your day. Like I was way more tired when I was pregnant. How different is it having a boy than having girls? So different. And again, I think it's partially because he's a boy and also because he's a different temperament than the girls do. But I also think it has to do with having twins and having one. With twins, it's harder to bond with them right off the bat because you have two of them, obviously. With one, all of your focus, all of your attention is on him. So you notice more, you're like just fully there with him. So far his personality is just the cutest. Like he is very go with the flow. He is very happy. He is a very happy baby. However, he likes a lot of attention. So we always joke about this. Like if he's just sitting there, he's not happy because you're not looking at him. Like he just wants to be stared at and looked at, and then he is like great. He literally just like watches me wherever I go. If I'm like going to get coffee, I'm going to sit down, he just tracks me, just watches me. He's like my little stalker. So a lot of the time I'll just sit on the ground, like if I'm eating, and I'll put him in his bouncer and just sit there and talk to him, and he's super happy. What has been your hardest day since he was born? Right after I had my C-section was the hardest day. Like I was just miserable. I was in so much pain. I'm pretty sure I strained a muscle in my back because honestly my back hurt the most out of anything. My catheter was awful. I just felt like this sucks. The hard thing was after you have a baby, you know, everybody, you know, whatever you go through, people always say, well, at least the baby's healthy. And obviously that's what you're thinking. But at the same time, I think it's hard for moms because it kind of discounts anything that they've gone through. And I talked to a few of you guys on like direct messages about this. It's kind of like you don't feel like you can ever complain because you have a healthy baby. It was a struggle dealing with that because like for me, I had to process the whole situation. Obviously, not everybody's gonna have a vaginal birth, and I don't know why I wanted to so bad. It almost is like I had one. I was at a 10, but he just wasn't gonna come out that way. And at the end of the day, it's fine, but it did mess with me. So on that note, let's just end with how I'm feeling postpartum, and I feel like I've talked a ton in this video. It's felt good. I haven't sat down and talked in a long time. So I feel so good. Like I can just say that, yes, it was such a struggle and such a time where you feel so low. I felt like I'm never gonna get better. I don't feel like myself. I don't look like myself. But now I just feel so much better. It's like, finally. I'm trying to think how much more I have to lose, how much weight. I think I have like 14 more pounds to lose, but I'm not worried about it. I haven't even started working out. I started doing some lunges every now and then, but that's kind of it. I'll show you my stomach. So here's it from the side. I definitely am carrying a lot more weight like up here, and then here is like the front. So obviously I have a lot of skin still, but I feel like it looks so much better and I can like suck in now. So what I'm doing is these ab exercises that Andrew gave me. He's a physical therapist. He knows what to do. So it helps with diastasis recti, which is when your ab muscles separate. So I have about, I don't know, half an inch of separation right now. If you guys want those, they're on my Instagram highlights under postpartum. And there's 3 different exercises that I try to do every day. And they help with tightening your core before you start doing any crunches or anything, because you want to help those muscles get back together before you start like engaging them a ton. As the weight also comes off, you feel more like yourself, and I'm not in pain anymore. Like that's obviously the biggest improvement. Once my pain went away, I just felt so relieved, and once my bladder felt back to normal, I felt so relieved. And it just seems like life is starting to get more like back to normal, so I'm happy about that. But our normal now is different, but I love it, and it's just been really nice. Like Owen's just such a sweet little boy, and I just feel so lucky to have him. And the girls, it's like having him now, you see them in a different way, and you feel like, man, I feel so fortunate to have them in our lives, and it's like we've come full circle type of thing. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and got some insight into how Owen is right now, how the girls are, how I am. And I just want to thank you for just following me and us along in this whole process. It's been a crazy couple months, and I appreciate you guys so much. So thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you guys are new here, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye.